this is a review for This Is the End. First, I want to stress that all the actors play themselves, which I thought was interesting and thought that maybe would give the movie a better chance. The picture seemed kind of grainy, but I'll chalk that up to the cinema I was at. I think that was to blame. In fact, the image was bigger than the screen. A little alignment would have been nice, but as I said, that's all chalked up to the theater. But anyway, about the movie. It's funny from the start. It's a tad... I like how the actors are themselves. Allow me to correct myself. I said it's funny from the start, a tad. So a little bit. So Seth Rogen and Jay go to a party at James Franco's house, which includes Michael Cera and other celebrities, such as Craig Robinson and Jay. That was it was kind of confusing with two of the celebrities being juggled about. I don't really recognize. Some of them I recognized by their faces, other ones I didn't, such as Jay and Danny McBride. The comedy continues, but it's dry and rough. That I wasn't really all that laughing. And I was asking myself, when's the movie start again? Okay, here we go. 15 minutes into the movie or so, it all breaks loose as they make a drink run. Franco is clueless as to what's coming, but a few minutes later, it gets them, starting with good old Mike. Okay, I didn't know what to expect in this movie, because the trailer, well, wasn't very revealing to me. All of a sudden, the movie actually gets good, for a little bit. Anyway, as they plan for the emergency, this is the point in time where the world ends and they don't know what's going on outside. It's like some giant quake and everything. And as they plan for the emergency, Seth contemplates that this could be the rapture. And I'm thinking the same thing at this point because it's all the same stuff. The next morning is funny because they look outside and they see there's fire all over the place, and I'm thinking rapture for sure. I mean, there's a man's head that gets shut off. We're given his eye view as as the head is kicked around by the actors, and that was kind of funny. From the disembodied head point of view, getting kicked around by the actors. But now the rapture has turned into the apocalypse, says Seth. There's really not too much I could spoil about this movie. I could tell you what happened, but there are things that I'm leaving out as I go on. I'm giving you the outline of this movie, but there are things I'm leaving out, and sometimes they're funny, sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're important to the movie, and sometimes they're not. And I stress now that the importance of those important points aren't really all that important. Okay, here we go. Emma Watson from Harry Potter comes into play. Now, I know this isn't the rapture, or is it? Anyway, Emma overhears an argument about how they can't rape her. And she storms out with all of their drinks. And by that, I don't necessarily mean alcohol. Outside, it's all fire now. A creature dashes across the screen, and at this point, we don't actually get to see the full creature. But this is the point where the film gets so dry and crude that it actually is funny. As they break into a storage cellar, they get screwed by Dan, and as he drinks some more water. He keeps drinking a ton of water and spilling most of it, I might add. Didn't put that in my notes. And during a fight, he raced the rest of the water. Actually, I did, I guess. Then they try to kick him out, but he gets a gun from James Franco. He shoots everyone, and then he leaves on his own when he sees he was given a prop gun, so no one's dead. No actual bullets. During the night, that same creature rapes Jonah Hill. We get a better look at him, but still not the full thing. The next day, they attempt to score some more food. Seth and Craig go to a nearby neighbor's house. Jonah has low blood sugar. He has a low blood sugar moment and takes the Milky Way bar that he is shown to that they have, and he is shown to be possessed by the very same demon who has been going about. The demon in his body says that the apocalypse is almost over. Meanwhile, across the street, they are attacked by that same creature, and now we could see it's a rocky horned demon that hops like a rabbit. And Jonah's worse now because though the creature left him, he's still possessed by some demon, and it's getting worse. The whole earth is on fire. They show, and Adamine, and they try to figure out why they're all still there. So there's there's a mini movie. A subtitle pops up, and it says "The Exorcism of Jonah Hill." And I was thinking, oh, this was gonna be good. It's no good. Amongst the confusion, they set the house ablaze. Outside, the creature returns yet again, and it's revealed that he also has wings. Craig goes against him a third time, and in doing so is raptured. He's saved because he keeps going. Because that's three times now he's left the house, and this time he was sacrificing to himself. And right before he dies, he's raptured. Now they are caught by Dan, who has become a cannibal and has Channing Tatum as a pet. James Franco starts to fight to save the other people, and he starts getting raptured, and then he does something wrong and stops getting raptured, and then they end up eating him. The demon has lost its wings, but it's giant now, and in a last-ditch effort, both are taken into Jay's rapture beam. But when the demon strikes, it's only strong enough for one. And, of course, as Seth sacrifices himself, his beam strikes the beast down the throat and saves Seth. In heaven, it's a performance by the Backstreet Boys to end the movie. Now, I know that sounds kind of entertaining and everything, but the fact is, I still can't give that movie more than a basic pass and six, because there were funny moments, but it was not well planned. It was very, very dry humor. I mean, it was like The Hangover 3. No point to it. It's good for a laugh, but nothing more than that. But I don't know if I should give it a 3-star rating. I did do a little thinking, and the fact is, it was a movie that made me laugh, and the more and more that I think about it, the more and more I get stuff. I mean, what can you expect from a movie like this? So, it does get the pass in 6, which is like a pass in 60. So, it will get that 3-star rating, but nothing more. Not one I would buy. If it was on TV, maybe I'd watch it for a laugh, but no one I can recommend, especially if you didn't like The Hangover or anything along that lines. You won't like this. Let's just say this is kind of like that Hangover spoof. I forgot what they called it. That movie, by the way, that I was thinking of would be 21 and over. It also had some crude humor in it, but it wasn't too dry, and that's actually... I don't know if I would buy that one either, but I'd be more likely to buy that one than this one. Anyway, that's my review for this movie. A basic pass and six. And, I don't know. Let's just say, this is the end, but not for the actors.